Hello everybody and welcome to round number 2 of the Grenke Chess Classic 2019. The first super tournament of the year featuring both Magnus Carlsen and Fabiano Caruana. Magnus Carlsen already in the sole lead after in round number 1. 4 games ended peacefully, and Carlsen in a long, tough battle managed to outlast the German hope, 14-year-old Vincent Kaymer. In the second round, things aren't getting much easier for Vincent Kaymer. If we look at the pairings of the day, we will see that Kaymer is facing none other than former world champion Vishy Anand. So pretty tough schedule here for the German youngster to begin with. And that tough schedule also explains the absence of Peter Leko. We are playing our daily game, waiting for Leko, because Leko is out there with Vincent, whom he is coaching, to give him some last-minute advice what to do against Vishy Anand. He's probably telling him stuff like, Vincent, you're 14 years old. Do you know when Vishy Anand was 14 years old? That was the year 1983. That's the year Margaret Thatcher was elected, the year we got the first Super Mario game. We didn't even have the internet. We didn't have Stockfish 10. So this guy is very, very old, and you are young and fresh and ready. I worked 10 hours tonight on your Italian. You have nothing to fear. Now go out there and make me proud, my boy. Not sure he calls him my boy, but that's how I imagine their interactions are going. In other news, we have the game between my good friend Paco Vallejo, the Spanish number 1, probably also since the year 1983, even though I'm less sure about that, facing Magnus Carlsen in their 7th tournament game. And Paco Vallejo, obviously the underdog in that matchup, but with the white pieces. It won't be an easy day at the office for Magnus, and we will see if he approaches this game solidly or if he goes out of his way, like he did yesterday, to put a fight on the board, even at bigger risks. Then again, Paco not the type to play solidly for a draw with the white pieces. So maybe a fight is what we get, no matter how Magnus decides to play the opening. We also have a battle between 2 regulars in the top 10 of the world, Fabiano Caruana. Calling him a regular in the top 10 is probably an insult. The world number 2, the vice world champion, who drew the world championship match, the classical stage, against Magnus Carlsen not very long ago, is facing Vachier-Lagrave, the French number 1, with the white pieces. Score between these two guys is balanced, I believe, like 4-4 in classical with a bunch of draws. I recall that Fabiano last year won a very nice game with the black pieces against Maxime in this tournament. And traditionally, Caruana with white against MVL means night off. That means a sharp fight. That means action, drama, bloodshed. Caruana used to have a horrible score against the Najdorf, but I believe he has somewhat altered that over the last couple of years. Still, looking forward to that matchup. We also have Arkady Naiditsch, former German number 1, now representing Azerbaijan, against Peter Svidler, still representing Russia, even though he has not been chosen for the national team for quite a while now. Svidler, I believe, has like a 2-0 lead in tournament games against Arkady Naiditsch, but both these wins stem from roughly 15 years ago. Since then, they've drawn all their games, and we will see how they approach this encounter. A lot will depend on the opening. Same can be said about Georg Mayer versus Levan Aronian. Georg Mayer just lost a rough game against Levan Aronian in the Bundesliga a couple months ago, but that was with reverse colors, where Aronian crushed him out of the opening. In Mayer's favorite, the Rubinstein French. However, Mayer with the white pieces is, of course, a very different player, very, very solid. Will probably stick to his 1 knight f3 save repertoire, and we'll see if Levon finds a way to ask any questions. So that's what we got today. Do we have players on stage? Is anybody out there? What are they doing every day? They make us wait. Okay, technically it's not 3 yet, but still, they should know I'm done with my pre-game speech and give us a little eye candy. Speaking of eye candy, Peter Leko has just entered the room and can hopefully verify that my interpretation of the pep talk he gave Vincent before his game against Vishy Anand was accurate. Welcome, Peter.
Hello. Hi, Jan. Hello, everybody.
How was your night? Did you work a lot or a quiet night?
Yeah, of course I work a lot. Even if there is nothing to work, I find something to work on, which is kind of always terrible. But yeah, if you start checking something, you always come up with ideas, and then you have to recheck. Then you have to, find the answer. Then suddenly it turns out there is no answer. Then you might have to switch some line. You know how it is.
Vincent, e4, e5 is abandoned. Play the Sicilian. Too many problems in the Italian. No, I do know how it is. Normally as a second or sometimes even as a player, you also consider many more options for your opponent than your opponent is even dreaming of. Yeah, Vishy thinks, okay, I'll play my Italian as usual, but still you need a repertoire against whatever. He could come up with 1 d4, 1 c4, Spanish, Scotch, 4 knights. So we will see how it goes. How do you manage? When do you sleep? Like, what's your routine like?
When? Here?
Right now? Yeah.
Okay, last night I think it was like 3:20 a.m.
Okay, that's still reasonable.
Yeah, it's still reasonable, but okay. That's how it is. But somehow the point is that I'm on the wrong side and the sun comes very fast. It's like at 7:30 it just hits you and there is no escape. Somehow I'm waking up and this is already critical.
No curtains, no blinders?
No, there are some curtains, but there is no way that you can fix the middle and the two sides. And it's just no escape. Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
And also way too much thoughts. And once you are a little bit awake, then it's already impossible to fall asleep again, at least for me.
Both problems I never had. Sun doesn't bother me, thoughts don't bother me.
You're a happy person, yeah?
No, not happy. Not very thoughtful. But yeah, working 2 jobs is not easy at this tournament. And
not at all.
respect.
And I'm actually expecting kind of also that Vincent will have many long games. Yeah, it's kind of normal. If you are
as an
outsider,
outsider, normally people make you work a bit. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, if you are black, then the question is if you are really able to put up such a resistance that the game is long enough. Yeah. But if Vincent is white, then it's clear that he has kind of things under control, and it's gonna be a really long game. With black, there are of course certain dangers. Yeah. If you face the world's best, first you have to survive the opening, then survive the middle game, and if you did that, then the test is still coming. Maybe time trouble, endgame, whatever.
You've seen it yesterday. You have to be alert in every phase of the game. Yeah? Like even if you pass many tests, these guys keep asking questions.
Yeah, it was very interesting because we kind of checked the game very, very briefly. We did not want to get into some serious analysis, just to type in the game and to see what computer said. And it seems that the position was much, much more complex than it looks. And I don't dare to judge bishop takes e3 at all right now before doing a serious work. Simply that I think the point why it looked so bad for black was the fact that Magnus with black wanted to win. So basically, anytime he could maybe close up with h5 the position, he just ruled it out because it would remove his dynamic chances. And like this, then white had always the chance of going g4, and after that, it's clear that black is in a serious trouble.
So you're saying the concept might be sound, but only if you're willing to lock the position up, like objectively
exactly.
speaking. Yeah, that makes sense. And we do have players entering the stage. I just did a little preview. Of course, rating-wise, the top game of the day is Fabiano Caruana against Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. Could be a sharp night-off, could be very interesting. But it's hard to say with these guys, especially Fabiano with the white pieces, of course, capable to do anything by now. Then we have Paco Vallejo, my old friend, facing Magnus Carlsen. There a lot will depend on the opening. We have Peter Svidler, we see there, with black against Akari Najdic. What's going to happen in that game? I don't have a feel for that game.
Yeah, exactly. Arkady is usually we would think a clear e4 player, but he also shuffles. Yeah, I don't know exactly. Okay, I can hardly recall him not playing e4, but he occasionally does play something else. However, I do expect e4, and what is Switzerland up to? Usually e5.
Mainly e5,
but
the
sometimes
occasional
the
Sicilian.
yeah, exactly. Sometimes even some Najdorf he is capable of. I mean, it's the typical, if you have played so many games with the white side and you know how good Najdorf is, then you kind of feel like, okay, why not to also try to use it with black, but when suddenly you want to make it your main repertoire, then it's you realize it's just way too much theory. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, knowing Svidler, when he plays Najdorf and then he gets bishop g5, he's already sitting there hating life. Yeah, I didn't check this, and like, what am I doing to myself? While we see the world champion arriving on stage. Looks like we still have some camera issues there. Apologies, we hope that things will be okay. While Paco Vallejo and Magnus Carlsen are filling out their score sheets.
Yeah, well, it felt like Magnus arrived and the camera froze, yeah? Kind of Magnus
Out
aura.
of respect.
Yeah, just the world champion #1 arrived and the technology collapses.
Paco Vallejo, Spanish #1. 36 years old by now. Which feels strange. We've been friends for many years, since he was in his very early 20s. But yeah, by now he's an old guy in these fields.
Yeah, it's so hard to imagine, yeah?
Father Time, undefeated. And I'm also very curious about that game. I think Paco, he doesn't really have the style to shut it down to play like for a draw. So even if Magnus plays his main repertoire, let's play, say, e4, c5, I don't feel like
it happened, yeah?
he will.
e4 happened or you moved e4?
No, that's probably me, at least. I can't see any tests there.
Because
But yeah, there is the e-pawn.
there is the e-pawn, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very curious, as usual, what Magnus will choose, because he's so hard to read. He's always smart about his choice, but it's very tough to guess his first move. Yeah, this time he plays e4, e5, apparently. And he goes for, I don't know what he's going to go for. The Marshall, the Berlin.
Yeah, you don't know what is his actual...
No, we do know that he prepared the Marshall for the 2016 match,
Yes.
so of course he has deep knowledge there.
Exactly, but it felt like ages ago, yeah?
Time goes by. And of course the problem with the Marshall, which we are both specialists in, is that if White wants a draw, he can make a draw, yes?
Exactly, yeah.
Would be a surprising choice, somewhat surprising choice against Paco, because I would expect Magnus to try to play for a win, even with Black today.
Yeah, but it's also not Paco's style to choose something
No, exactly.
move per move-ish to make a draw. So I expect some. I mean, but this is not a sideline; it's a main line already. Yeah? I mean, just some kind of anti.
Also in this position they have now, Magnus, I think he's toyed with bishop c5 here. He's capable of playing b5, bishop c5. He's played b5, bishop b7 against Caruana in the past, so he can do many things. It's not a given we will get this. And yeah, he plays his move bishop to c5. Maybe hoping to catch Paco.
Yeah, this is also a very important moment because you have the choice of going bishop c5 directly or b5, bishop b3, bishop c5, both giving extra options. I mean, in the line of b5, bishop b3, bishop c5, one of the things why people stopped liking it, that a4, rook b8, knight takes e5 without a b5, and knight takes e5, d4, bishop takes d4, queen d4, and strangely enough, with the a pawn still on the board, this is not so easy for black. Without the a pawns, it's nothing at all. So that's the reason why actually people choose then the bishop c5 line. However, after bishop c5, the extra option for white is c3, b5, bishop c2. In this case, then the
But Magnus against Karyakin, he played castles here. That's his line. Because I think he doesn't want to allow this b5, bishop c2, which you mentioned. Well, after d5, it's a lot of theory, but black is trying to make a draw move by move, more or less. You had this against Kramnik, no? In the match, he hit you with his a4 move.
Yeah, he hit me with some a4 and then he did d4, and I remember that over the board without any serious preparation. In fact, without any preparation, it was just impossible to react correctly. So
Yeah, I'm curious what Paco will do. If you're very surprised here, you can always play some bishop c6, pretend this is some anti-Berlin, but it's not really Paco's style either.
Yeah, and the point is also that the pawn on a6 favors black in many lines.
I'm always confused about this. I keep changing my mind. Sometimes I think it favors white, sometimes I think it favors black.
Yeah. Yeah, in any case, bishop c5 came as a surprise to Paco, and now he has to make up his mind. But I do believe that after c3, Magnus is going to go b5, because this short castle d4 bishop a7 line is also something where black is, I mean, fighting for equality.
I pled the fifth. That's what they say, no? Let's have a look at...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was the point. You
Anand,
kept on...
Kaymer. I kept talking about Italian, like
Italian,
c5.
exactly, yeah. But okay, I couldn't reveal that. Sorry, I mean, Vincent most probably going to go Najdorf, and it's basically an incredible challenge because, okay, playing against Vishy Anand, who is probably, I mean, undisputedly the greatest expert with white and with black, having all these debates with Kasparov and Topalov and all the other games. But okay, that's...
He plays his move 6 bishop d3. He's done that recently, no? Like,
yeah,
this never used to be a main move, but Vishy seems to have taken a liking to this. Which I'm guessing, since he played it recently, you guys probably had a look at this.
Yeah, I mean, we are preparing, not necessarily for this game, but I mean, in general, we are working.
So let's not quiz you too much on the opening phase. Looks like you get this typical structure after knight g.
First castle, yeah.
Knight g3, bishop e6, knight d5, takes, g6, c4, knight bd7. Very standard Sicilian structure, somewhat similar to these Sveshnikov structures we saw yesterday as well.
Yeah, bishop h6. I mean, there is basically...
This still has been played, no?
Yeah, had been played, but there is almost no theory on it. I mean, it's just a typical position that you reach and you play. I think that the first new move is rook c1 officially. There was a game, if I'm not mistaken, Naya versus Wojtasek. It was basically one of the only high-level games in this game, in this position. And there maybe b4 happened, if I'm not mistaken. It's not that things change dramatically here with any move. It's a type of position. So interesting to see how this game will progress.
What does black want? He would be happy to exchange dark squared bishops, but not so easy to do, of course.
Yeah, I mean, okay, bishop f8 is kind of natural.
I guess bishop g5.
And yeah, bishop g5 just to provoke h6. Then you kind of go back to d2 or e3. It's already a big question, probably to d2. And then black can, I mean, play h5, black can play e4, all kinds of different setups. Fighting was somehow this knight is quite unusual on g3. Yeah, it's usually sits on b3.
Yeah, where it's also stupid.
Exactly.
On g3 it also feels somewhat misplaced.
Yeah.
Controlled by this pawn on g6.
I mean, usually the knight belongs to c3. However, okay, having it on b3 once you push b4, it's nice. When you have knight on c3, you push b4, it's still very difficult to get c4, c5 in.
So yeah, full-fledged strategic fighting position, which I don't know details obviously, but I think it should suit Vincent. He's shown he understands structures, and Vishy probably is also happy because this is the line he chose.
Yeah, I mean, okay, Vishy basically knows all these structures in every single line of the Najdorf. That's why it was impossible to focus on something. It can be bishop g5, it can be h3, it can be bishop e3, it can be bishop e2, it can be bishop d3. So I just hope that, okay, basically the point is that Vincent should be very happy that he has a chance of playing the Najdorf against Vishy. I mean, it should be a very special experience.
See, this is a very special position.
Wow.
Fabiano went for this line. This is a funny line.
Yeah.
One of the famous anti-Najdorf lines, which thing was popularized mainly when Carlsson played it against Wojciech.
Yeah.
Was it last year or
In
maybe 2 years
Champke,
ago?
yeah.
Last year in
Yeah.
Champke.
Champke, yeah.
And there was this story in New and Chess yearbook by our Greek friend who discovered this line. Then he showed it to Kotronias, and then they decided to mail it to Carlsson, to Team Carlsson. And they had a look and decided it was worth a shot, and Magnus won a very nice game against Wojciech with it. It looks stupid, but it has some points. First of all, after knight c3, if you're a knight off player like Maxime, you can't really play knight c6, because then after knight f3, you typically end up in other Sicilians. So you have to go d6. And here white normally plays g3 or whatever, but this is
the new idea,
the
yeah.
new trick.
And queen d2, and get b3, bishop b2.
b3, bishop b2, long castles, and then react according to circumstances. Sometimes you push g4 early on. It's not ridiculous.
Yeah,
Knight f6.
I think that right after that game of Carlsen versus Wojciech, then in Stavanger, Nakamura played it against Vachier. And that's why I'm curious to see how confidently Maxim will handle this position, because it's not the first time he encountered it. I do remember that against Hikaru, he was not that convincing. I mean, the game ended in a draw, and maybe his position was more or less fine, but
Played
still,
some g6
yeah,
there
it
maybe,
was,
and he
yeah,
suffered. No,
yeah, he suffered. Yeah, he suffered a bit.
This time he goes for something very direct. He plays e6, bishop b2. And I believe that Wojciech game was, I don't know, but the move order a6 or bishop e7 here, sort of typical Sicilian stuff, then long castles and some g4. But MVL goes for the very direct d5 here, changing the structure, accepting an isolated pawn. ed, ed. And I have to admit I'm out of book here. I've never looked at this.
Yeah, me too. And the point is that, I mean, it's a little bit surprising that Maxim is taking his time, because if you go for this with e6, d5, then basically you have to know everything over the board. This position looks just awful, yeah?
It's dangerous, no? Long castle, pawn is hanging, bishop b5, knight f3, rook e1.
Well, everything. So you need a couple of computer moves here to understand why you went for this, yeah?
Yeah, I'm guessing there is some direct quote-unquote solution, and Maxime is trying to recall how exactly this went. But we'll see. Fabiano always extremely well prepared. If he chooses this and blitzes out long castles, means he's had a look at this as well, and he thinks it's not so easy for him.
Exactly, but that's why I'm kind of surprised that why is he...
When it comes to prep, my money is on Fabiano. Then later, when it comes to winning the game, it's a very, very different case against Maxime. He's so resourceful and so good in all these positions.
Yeah.
But we will see who wins the prep battle today. There we see Fabiano. Is it in black and white? Almost in black and white, it looks like. Some old movie, very classical, Mr. Caruana against Maxime, who mainly seems concerned with like cleaning his nose. Maybe he has hay fever. A lot of people suffering from hay fever now that the weather is good in Germany. You see a lot of sniffing all over the place because there is
Yeah, it's tricky.
something in the air.
I mean, somehow, so it was like 2-3, and almost none of the players had been in the playing hall on the stage yet. So it kind of indicated that, yeah, it's the weather is too nice. Somehow the people are finding it a little bit hard to get to the board, or maybe simply that since yesterday always the first round starts late, then people thought, okay, yesterday we came early, why should we? Then we will come in the last second. By the way, your prediction got right, and Magnus went for the c3 castles, d4, bishop a7 line.
Yeah, bit of a sideline in his game against Kayakin. Kayakin went for, I think, d takes e4, d takes e5, knight e4. Where does it go? Queen d5, knight c5, bishop c2. Some stuff like this.
Yeah, and then
Magnus
d6.
equalized.
Yeah, equalized with a very, very intelligent, very precise novelty. Because in fact, the reason why Karyakin went for this position, that he was hoping that he can torture Magnus, but by some bishop g4, something bishop f5 back, that was the crucial novelty, and Magnus very easily drew that game.
Yep. Of course, d takes e5, not the only move. Well, any logical move makes sense here. Bishop g5, rook e1. Bishop takes c6, knight d2. Maybe not knight d2, but white has many options here. And we'll see if Paco is ready for this or if Magnus caught him a bit off guard. If you're unprepared, d takes e5 is sort of the safest choice because that means you typically get a structure where black will sooner or later play d6 and, well, generally speaking, it's hard to be worse here with white's like in this type of position.
So basically, I think queen takes d6, queen takes d6, c d6, rook d1. Was it like this?
I'm not sure.
Something like this.
The point was some bishop g4 and rook d6, bishop f5, but it can't be here exactly. So
yeah, it can't be here exactly.
maybe you throw in some. I can't remember anything ever.
Yeah, how did this bishop lose control of the f5 square?
Maybe you don't take, but you wait for knight.
No. Yeah, it's. I mean, white also wants bishop e3.
Something like this.
And bishop f5.
Something.
Yeah,
Something
exactly.
like
Yeah. I mean, typical high quality compute analysis.
Yeah, we'll see. It looks like Paco is taking his time here, which seems to be an indicator. At the very least, he has not had a look at this morning, yeah?
Yeah.
But also, well, Magnus mainly plays e4, c5 these days, and you don't really expect him to choose a sideline. But it's nice to have these lines you can play every 20th game maybe, and then they keep coming as a surprise, yeah, because you do them.
Yeah, of course. It's always handy. And what about Arcady?
Let's have a look.
Because you remember we were discussing we don't know what to expect from Arcady, and here we go.
Oh, I thought this might happen actually. Should have said it before. Arcady recently played this against Adiban, I think, and he's always had some sympathy for it over the years. He's played it on and off. So he goes for the exchange rule Lopez, and Svidler plays queen f6. Obviously, many moves here, bishop d6, f6, bishop g4, knight e7. One could give a big speech about all of them, but queen f6, one of the main lines. And I think get a second lease of life after Caruana won a very nice game with it against Georg Mayer here yesterday. Not yesterday, last year.
Last year, yeah.
Well, it's one of the main moves to just defend the pawn. White wins this tempo with bishop g5, queen d6, knight takes d4.
Bishop
now,
e7.
many books can be written about whether you should start with bishop e7 or bishop d7, but I think bishop e7 is the more trendy move nowadays.
Yeah, that's also what Fabi did, yeah? And that game went bishop e3, knight h6, h3, g5 or something like this, no?
I think queen d2,
or queen
g5.
d2, yeah, g5.
Yeah, that was his big new idea, because theory was something, quote-unquote theory. Knight g4, bishop f4, and white was pushing a bit. But with this g5, Fabi won a very nice game. And Arcady is saying, no, I don't want anything too crazy. I want to play this position. Where generally practice, didn't you have a game against Magnus like a long time ago in this line?
Yeah, that was maybe one of the very first in 2007 in Time Memorial when queen f6 just started to appear. I mean, it started to appear, I believe, already like 2004, because Beljavsky was one of the pioneers of this queen f6. And yeah, we had one of those endgames. I don't remember if I played knight b3 or knight d2. I think knight b3.
Played knight b3, and you got this. And it's one of these endgames where it looks like white should be better because of this pawn majority. This bishop is quite strong, no? Black goes c5, f5, and even if stuff gets exchanged, this bishop will hold against a single knight usually, which...
That's what happened in our game, yeah.
So yeah, black is supposed to be solid here, but I've checked this recently. I saw people are playing this, still trying this knight b3, or knight e2 as well. After knight e2, normally black doesn't take, but goes long castles, and here they try some queen c1, queen e3, play these positions. Has to be said with limited success, though. It seems like black is normally doing quite well here.
Yeah, it feels comfortable for black. Yeah? However, I don't remember Svidler playing this line ever, yeah? So it might come as a small surprise to Arcady or not. Because he was bishop d6 guy, no? There was some moment when Svidler was doing this bishop d6, d4, ed, queen d4, f6 business. I recall some games from him there.
It's another very solid line here. This stuff here.
Yeah, this stuff.
I can't remember what his outings in the past were. But yeah, queen f6 has always been one of the main moves. And I think that's also what Adivan played in the recent game against Knight. Maybe Peter saw that game. I could be wrong here. Knight d2 is on the board here. This is the trendy move. Now they typically castle, and white then tries to keep the queens. But of course, if white wants to play very safe, you can also take here. It's just
but that's
not really an advantage here.
It's not really an option on high level, and the point is that both players are so-called world-class players, but maybe with indication more on players. And I think that, for example, Svidler is just happy. He doesn't really have much of an analysis here. He just knows that this is a fine position, and I'm gonna handle this over the board. And Arkady probably with white also think maybe I don't have any advantage, but I know the plans.
But the structure, I know what to do. They're both, as you mentioned, more practical guys. Svidler doesn't need to know how to force a draw here. He just thinks, okay, this is a sound position. I'll take it from here. No?
Yeah.
Dr. Levon, what's Dr. Levon up to?
Neudorf.
Georg went e4, but he has this very specific repertoire where, he normally doesn't enter open Sicilians, but he has all these tricky sidelines. Bishop b5 check. Not really a sideline anymore.
Yeah.
That's what he does. Knight takes. Queen d7 was the main move for many years, but somehow people, I think, got a little tired of all these Maroczy structures and trying to make a draw there, so they have been trying to mix it up a bit with knight takes over recent years.
But for example, in my childhood, I remember when I was taught about all this, then whether you take queen takes d7 or knight d7, our coaches always said that it's up to you to decide. I'm not going to force you to take with any of it. So
it doesn't sound very helpful, these coaches. Up to you, do whatever you like.
It's not critical.
So you can play e5 or c5. Like you decide.
It's not critical anymore.
Anyway, white has a ton of options. In this position, you can play b3, c4, d4, c3. Maya chooses c3, bishop e7, d4, and I think the point here is what Levon does. You keep the tension with black, you go short castles. Because typically people used to commit to stuff like this early, but then I'm not sure about the theory, but there were some ways to ask questions here.
Rook d1, bishop e3, knight e1. That was the debate that I faced when I was like 10 years old, and it was always like a very scary thing. Will this knight get trapped or not? Then there was this f6, knight g5, very dubious looking stuff, and no, and I decided later to just take with the queen and forget about all this.
I think this short castle is the latest fashion. Daring white to play e5, after which the game can get a little more double-edged.
Then you go knight d5 immediately.
Knight e8, there was some theory here. So Levon looking for a game, of course, but not easy against Georg. He has a very solid repertoire if he starts with e4 or knight f3. Personally, I think, to my mind, he's always more of a knight f3.
Exactly.
Catalan player, so if he plays e4, it feels like a slightly different person, but he also has a worked out repertoire there, of course. All right, what do you want to see?
Well, let's see. Paco is still thinking. Maybe let's have a look at this game of Fabiano against Maxime, because remember we were kind of speculating that how confidently Maxime will handle this position, and so far
a3, very deep, stopping bishop b4, or what's the point? Queen a5 maybe.
Probably Fabi knows what he is doing and why. So he's 140 on the clock and goes a3. And bishop c5 played. Very interesting.
a3 is too complicated for me.
It's typically a modern preparation. That those moves, you would think that if you have, some 20 years ago, if you are forced to play a3, then just don't play this line. But nowadays,
if it just says a3 020, then okay, let him show.
Exactly.
0-0.
Exactly.
But still, let's try to make sense of this bishop c5. What are natural moves? Knight f3 comes to mind, of course.
But knight f3 feels a bit strange now, no? The bishop on c5 is so nicely placed. I don't know if, for example, Queen e7 is a threat or not.
Yeah, I was wondering, because before I'm
You
not
don't
too
wanna-
happy to play.
Yeah.
This pawn is hanging. So knight a4, knight e4 is also probably asking for trouble. What's the point, Fabi? Show us.
Now Fabi is taking his time, which is again a little bit surprising. Yeah, if you blitz out a3 and you don't know the follow-up, or
Looks
probably
like some
you
of
know-
these drop out positions where you will play f3, g4, but queen e7 hitting this guy, no?
Yeah, I mean f3 was also my gut feeling that somehow f3, knight e2, knight f4 or g4, but it does feel a bit slow.
Yeah, queen e7 is still hitting.
Okay, typically in such positions, computer comes very handy because then computer suddenly can confirm that, maybe you are scared of this, but in fact there is no reason to be scared. But you better know those things. Yeah?
Yeah. Just as I said, Fabi is probably going to win the opening battle. We are no longer so sure after Maxime. Blitz is out. Or I'm assuming Blitz is out. This bishop c5 move. What the point is. Yeah, you want to go f3 to control all these squares, but can you?
Yeah,
Maybe there is some weird way to play some knight a4.
yeah, but knight e4, knight e4 is just impossible to figure it
Square,
out.
no? Yeah, I can't really
Yeah,
make it work.
that how should it work?
Probably just doesn't.
I mean, you have this ultra clever king b1, king a2 maneuver, but it looks so stupid that I did not even want to.
Maybe.
I didn't want to mention it because also the king on a2 feels so awkward, stepping into this e6, a2 diagonal, and it's somehow too tempy. It does feel like tempy matters here.
Yeah.
Yeah, will be very interesting to see. It's just impossible even to guess what's the right move. And Paco took d5.
Paco, yeah.
The
take,
professional.
which is the safe choice. Maybe this is the move earlier where we're trying. I went queen d5, but he went bishop c2 directly. Probably this is how people get these positions. Like, can I remember or figure out?
I don't know. So after bishop c2, can I go d5 or not?
Yeah,
Because
I'm also wondering.
wasn't the reason why people
That's why you go queen d5. No?
played queen d5? Yeah. Okay, ed knight d6. It's of course very nice for white because you are totally safe.
Very safe. Yeah, bishop g5.
Yeah. Only if I'm remembering correctly, it was somehow leading
No, I
to
think
nothing.
You're right. Yeah, I think this is equal.
It was leading to nothing. Yeah. But a super solid, super safe choice.
Yeah, Paco a bit surprised, plays the safest line he could find. And yeah, probably knight c5 is asking for
Yeah,
trouble
no,
here.
knight c5 is. I don't know even if bishop h7 is already.
G5 or, yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Oh yeah, let's look at this. This could be fun.
yeah, this can be just game over. In fact.
This could be bad news. And king g6. You know,
Yeah,
if you don't know it works, you're not too happy with these adventures. No?
Yeah, I mean it just cannot work. Yeah. Just cannot work. I don't know, queen g4, h4, queen c2. I mean, just too many. I just refuse to look at this.
All right.
I mean, no, this is not. No, bishop c2, d5 is
Yeah,
obligatory.
will happen.
The only problem is for Magnus that I think he wanted to provoke Paco a bit with this provocative line, and he is on one side maybe happy that okay, I'm solving. I do remember that like 2 years ago when I first time commented here at Grenke, there was a game between Hui Fan and Magnus.
Yep.
And that game was a Najdorf. Magnus played the Najdorf. Hui Fan played a4, e5, knight f3, and it was a very, very solid position. Black very easily equalized, and exactly at that moment the problems for Magnus started, because any move which was leading to clear equality was kind of rejected, and in a position where you don't have any rights to play for a win, somehow those moves can create you serious trouble, and exactly that's what happened. Magnus was on the verge of collapse, is maybe a bit exaggerated because white was just better but not winning, by any means. However, Magnus had to suffer and had to come up with some great defense at some point to save the game. So what I want to say that, yeah, Magnus is not always happy to solving his problems with black. Yeah, he wants to have this chance to play for a win. Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen that even in this tournament many times, also against Georg Meyer last year. There are examples for this. But normally, even if he gets into trouble computer-wise, normally he doesn't lose these games. No, he's very good at like keeping enough play in the position.
Yeah.
That even if it's some trouble, he normally feels like he can make a draw if things go wrong a bit, and if they go right, he might get some chances.
Yeah.
So he's quite good at keeping this balance. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't think he's too thrilled about this position because, well, what could go wrong for white now? Bishop g5, knight bd2.
Or bishop f4, I mean, whatever,
F4,
yeah. I mean, it's everything super solid.
Maybe thinking about knight f2, but it doesn't look like a good move.
Yeah, no. The only point is that he can also take it pragmatically. Yeah, he got 2 blacks with number 6. Finally, yesterday he won after adventures in a very long game. Okay, if this game ends in a draw, it's not a disaster for him. Yeah, he has then 4 white games, and he's already on plus score. If he would have, if things would have gone wrong yesterday, then it would be a completely different story.
Yeah. We'll see. So far, it looks like the favorite is d5 simplifications, where, yeah, both sides will have a hard time creating problems. Let's look at your boy. I'm guessing you don't call him my boy, no? That sounds wrong.
No, okay, Vincent is Vincent. Yeah.
You call him Vinny?
No. I mean, it's this typical position. It's one can say typical. However, one should also say that Vincent started to play Najdorf after we started working. So it's not like he used to be a born Najdorf player. Previously, he played a lot of Pausens, and.
A Pausen is sort of a beginner Sicilian, yeah, then once you realize there's too
Exactly.
many problems, you'll move.
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to
Progress to
understand.
Najdorf.
Yeah, it's very easy to understand the Pausen. However, then you start facing stronger and stronger oppositions. You realize that objectively it's nightmarish, and then it's the right moment to move on. However, the Najdorf has served Vincent perfectly against the lower rated opponents. He had won basically almost all his games, if not all, against the lower. However, against the stronger players, he had been struggling. I mean, Najdorf is this typically very fighting opening where experience and the strengths of the players does matter a lot. I mean, it's not a solid symmetrical position where you can somehow easily hold
It's not the Berlin.
your ground.
A5, B3 on the board. Not sure B3, probably just preparing. A3, B4 without allowing.
Of course, yeah.
Getting fixed here, typical stuff.
This is what you should never allow. And okay, B3, now the big question is, should black play E4? Should he start H5? Because this knight on G3 is slightly strange, yeah? I mean, for example, H5, H4 is a huge threat. So as white, will you react to H5 with bishop G5 back? Or you're going to move rook E1 to free the square for the knight on F1? I mean, there are all kinds of small questions which are small but not easy to answer.
That's why you need a PhD in Najdorf sciences to play these positions. To me, bishop G5 looks natural. Then I guess you could
Yeah,
go somewhere with the
something,
queen.
queen
B6
B6,
or
maybe.
B6. Tricky position.
Very
Knight
tricky
H7,
position.
King H7, bishop H7.
Yeah, I mean, knight H7, H4 is hanging in the air. Okay, maybe you just go bishop G7. However, when you put queen on B6, then bishop easily will come back with a tempo. Whether tempo is of a crucial importance here, it's another issue.
Yeah, can go here.
But
too.
it's a very fighting position. It's clearly a very fighting position. It will be a good experience, whatever happens. Yeah, and Fabi went for knight f3. The move that we kind of felt that could be the move, but it, without Anand, it did feel a bit strange, yeah? After bishop c5. But
We
it's
still
the,
need to figure out what he does after queen e7.
but it's the developing move. Yeah, that's the question. Yeah, queen e7.
Maybe b4.
Yeah, I mean tempo do matter here, big time. So okay, let's try b4. Bishop d6 is kind of sad, yeah, because of knight b5.
Yeah, this is
Bishop b6
what we wanna do.
feels right, and somewhere do I have? I wanted to say some queen g5 ideas.
Whoa, such a hacker.
How do you react to queen g5? Wow, you, yeah, just
Sure,
to
this
illustrate,
works,
yeah, just to
It's
illustrate.
fun. Could work, no?
Yeah, I mean, even also bishop takes f6 is already advantage. So, no, short castle is just out of question. The question was what happens after long castle, I thought, yeah, because somehow this tempo is very important, and then I wanted to use some knight a4, bishop takes f2, queen takes g7. That was my quick, and knight e4, and I didn't know what's going on. But I felt like black should be fine.
Yeah, so black is in good shape.
Yeah.
Very weird stuff, completely non-standard. We used to isolate the pawns, but typically not with b3, a3 and long castles.
Then there is another idea to push b4, bishop b6, b5. Yeah, just to disbalance this knight.
So I'm positional. I also thought about it, but I was afraid to suggest.
Yeah, but I kick you away, and I still have this knight a4 idea. I mean, I don't know if with queen g5, I mean, combining this queen g5 jump with knight a4, then I do feel that this knight on a5 is slightly out of the game. Yeah, let me go queen g5 here. Because knight a4 is met by knight e4, and that would hurt me.
What a position.
Yeah.
h6, I'm tempted to go.
Yeah, h6 is tempting, but
Show me.
But let me take. Then rook g8, queen h6, knight g4. Yeah, vamos. Queen h7, long castle, and knight a4. You take on f2.
Vamos.
I take on b6. And you take, and okay, you will just win the exchange. I don't see my big compensation. Yeah, no, somehow this whole queen g5 business is very artificial. I'm not liking it.
We'll see, maybe Fabi has some deep ideas. Like b5, a6.
No, certainly has some deep ideas, because you can only play this position with deep ideas.
You can also bluff, or they didn't think d5 was so good, like who knows?
Yeah. No, it's clear, both players are taking their time. It could easily be that this d5 is a typical 0-0 type of move from computer, and you feel that, oh, but this looks so ugly, I'm not going to get involved because nobody is going to play like this. And boom, it happens, and then you suddenly realize that maybe it would have been wise to spend at least 2-3 minutes on it. Because in such moments, enough just to have some hint from the computer. Yeah,
3 minutes are enough, you just need to know the first line.
Yeah, that. What are exactly the evaluations, which move, why it happens, because otherwise to figure it out, you might figure it out, but you don't really want to spend 40 minutes right at the start.
Absolutely.
Now Maxim taking his time after knight f3.
There we saw Magnus, he was trying to leave the board. Paco, merciless as he is, not just with his shirt choice, but also making the move instantly as Magnus gets up, saying, no, 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 you stay here. I will attack your queen. And Magnus looks annoyed. Probably not because he feels he's in trouble, but because he feels like it will be hard to create any tension in this position. No?
Yeah, it's kind of...
What do? You go queen d7 or f6?
I mean, I do feel like black still has to prove full equality. Yeah, I mean, after all, black is the one, and okay, in such situations, I mean, Magnus usually is looking for chances, but here I don't think that you can really look for chances. You first have to equalize.
Yeah, because there's still some questions, no? Like queen d7, queen d3 could ask some. Also, how do you develop the pieces?
White is more harmonious.
White is somewhat more coordinated. But
But yeah, I do believe that queen d7 feels right.
No, f6. How bad is this?
Yeah, no, I mean, how bad is a good question, because it might not be bad, but I just want to leave without f6 at this moment. So
Also, full disclosure, my plan was to blunder a piece here with bishop f5.
Ah, okay. Then
Queen d5 check is quite strong.
that's a nice illustration. I just don't want to go f6. I mean, if queen d7 works, and it feels that why shouldn't queen d6 can be met by queen f5, no?
Yep.
And in general, I want queen g4, bishop f5. I want to get out.
Sure.
I thought maybe some bishop f4, back, now that you disbalanced me.
Feels like black should solve his problems now.
Yeah, I
Play
mean,
some slow move. Maybe b5, bishop b7 is coming. Should be too much. Here, I don't know. Can I go queen g4? Takes rook d8.
I'm pretty sure that I have taken a look at this probably like 7-8 years ago, because I remember that maybe in 2011 some Monaco tournament was the first time when this d4 bishop a7 in maybe Gashimov versus Ponomarev or something like this that I recall, and back then for sure I did take a look and I wanted to have an easy solution, and bishop c2 forcing d5 takes and then doing bishop g5 is the most primitive and the most straightforward. So if it would have worked, it would have been just a dream, but it didn't do anything. So that's why I can't even remember. I just remember that it was nothing.
Yeah. Magnus studying this situation. Interesting that he didn't feel like going for his Sicilian, which has brought him such success against Paccono, but maybe just wants to remain unpredictable.
Yeah.
Mr. Kaymer has played h5, logical move, and Vishy has to decide how to react.
Yeah, this is now a huge moment for white, because so far all white's moves were clear, but now he has to answer some questions. And also going back bishop g5 feels a bit awkward from the white side as well, because it's
How often can you go bishop g5?
not really clear if, I mean, this pin is not forever.
No, queen goes, knight h7 coming in.
Yeah, and then you are still facing the same issue with h4, so you might go bishop g5, but you anyway have to make up your mind how you're going to deal with this h4 stuff later.
Yeah, well, what else? Rook e1, h4, knight f1 does not impress, does it?
Yeah, I mean, where does white want to have his knight?
Yeah.
Because
Play
now
h3, h4, knight e2.
also, yeah, now that a5, b3 had been included, maybe knight e2, knight c3, knight b5 is an option.
Maybe you just start the trip without an invitation.
Yeah, now the b5 square. Because, yeah, if black would ask the question without a5, b3, then after h5, this knight e2 would almost be out of question, yeah, because, okay, maybe not. But also this knight e2, I go e4, for example, yeah, this is all very double-edged. Bishop g7.
Sharp, but I have some squares for my pieces.
You have some squares, but how much those squares mean to you?
Okay, let me make some.
Okay, knight
Get
c5.
checkmated. Let me go that way.
Yeah, knight fd7.
Ah, you want to install
I also
Kraken. I also have some squares,
Yeah.
like Garikimovic.
Okay, you can go knight c3. Can go
Yeah.
from that side.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm gonna go f5. Vamos, amigos. And then knight e5.
Yeah, this guy is not such a proud
Yeah.
contributor here. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's a
sharp.
typical position that. Yeah, rook a6.
Wow.
No, then queen d5 check. I won the queen d5 check. But yeah, this d6 was just in time to hurt me. Yeah?
Well, now I still have this idiot, so I'm not sure what the position is like, but at least
Yeah, but
5 is annoying.
yeah, and you are threatening my exchange also. Yeah, but I mean, these are the typical ideas. Nicely playable for both sides.
Yeah, we'll see what Vishy comes up with. Vishy Anand, born in 1969. When was Vincent born? 2005?
2004.
2004.
2004.
So, I'm not a mathematician, but I would say that's much later.
That's a safe guess. Yeah?
35 years?
That's a safe guess. Yeah. And what about Georg Mayer? Let me see this Georg Mayer against Levon Aronyan, because strategically the position looks very interesting.
He went e5 and Levon took. Interesting, I thought he would go knight d5 directly, but he took knight d5 and now
yes,
you can
c4.
change the structure.
Exactly, that was the point, that the position that I saw on my screen and the final position here, knight c6, rook d1 a6, was something that my gut feelings told me that maybe white has something in the position. But
some bishop f4, knight e4, knight d6
yeah.
business.
I mean, bishop f4 for sure. How I will continue, because you're gonna go queen c7, I guess. I don't think that. Okay, you have to watch out for knight d5, but is knight d5 a problem or not? Because I can take and then take on e5.
Looks like an equalizer, yeah? But
Yeah.
no more. Yeah, it's fine for black. Still.
Yeah, it's kind of equal. I can go bishop d6 or takes, whatever. Yeah.
Not a lot of winning chances for black, but what can you do?
And it's played bishop f4, queen c7. No, I mean, okay, in this position first you have to make sure that you equalize. I mean, white's play seems quite easy. Some h4, h5, queen e4. I mean,
yeah, it's dangerous.
I have the feeling that white has free hand. Maybe white has nothing objectively. But we say hapchi in Hungarian.
I heard nowadays you're supposed to apologize. People no longer say Gesundheit.
Gesundheit, no more,
instead
yeah.
you say sorry. Which feels wrong. Like you can't control it. You shouldn't have to apologize. I am very sorry though, especially if anybody went deaf over this. There we see Georg Mayer sporting a t-shirt. It's probably warm in the playing hall.
Yeah,
Levon
should be.
Aronyan wearing shirt and jacket, while Georg showing some skin there.
I mean, after all, they have this very, very light, I mean, very strong lights above their heads. I believe that should...
Tell me about it.
Yeah, but this is still from the side. And when it's from above on the stage, it can get really, really hot. With a lot of spectators, a lot of players in the hall. I mean,
I heard the air is not so great, which is understandable because there's like 2,000 people in the hall now. There's a lot of oxygen being used.
Yeah, but it's exactly for this reason also one of the most striking tournament halls.
It's amazing. I've never seen anything like this. Like Vachier-Lagrave was always the gold standard where everybody's in one hall, but here it's even more people around. Oh, it's very impressive.
Yeah.
All right, so bishop f4 played, queen to c7, and now Georg will probably have to decide between knight d5 and some slower approaches like h4, queen e4. Well, many moves come to mind, rook d3, but queen e4 looks sort of logical.
Yeah,
Just
queen e4 looks
step out
very
of
nice.
this. Knight d4, defend the bishop.
And then, okay, some rook fd8, knight f8 is a typical way of handling this position.
h4, h5, and still some questions to be asked.
Yeah.
We will see.
So,
This here looks like standard stuff.
Arkady and Peter are playing, this fairly standard.
This position I've certainly seen before. Here it's always a bit of a question for black. Do you want to go f5, allow the structure to be fixed with this e5, or do you want to keep it fluid? Peter decides. No reason to fix anything. f5, knight e5 is not a big threat. So he goes there, bishop c8. It probably is quite
Do you have the opener?
I do not, but wow, that's a
Jose,
scary
yeah?
knife that
Wow.
Jose is rocking.
Saves my life, yeah?
Is that even legal? Look at this thing.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a serious stuff. That's a serious stuff. Huh? Thanks.
I'm afraid of touching it.
I don't have any glasses,
No.
so I might not be too
You
polite,
have to be
but
barbarian. Drink out the bottle.
excuse me.
All
But
right.
I still need to talk, yeah?
So bishop c8 on the board. Yeah, typical structure. Maybe Arkady also feels now that he's an Azeri. He has to embrace the Azeri lines. No, Gusainov has played this position 18,000 times already. So Arkady feels like, okay, if Gusainov can do it, so can I.
Yeah, maybe also they had some training camp together or discuss something.
Nah, I
No?
doubt it.
You don't think so?
No, I have no idea. I'm just making up stuff. But I do know that Gusainov played a lot of exchange Ruilopithis over the years.
That's for sure. And Fabi went bishop this. Ah no, the queen e7 was not played. So we didn't got an answer to our question, yeah?
Strange, no? Attack the pawn.
Yeah, what was the tempo?
He
I mean-
probably feels it doesn't run away, like queen a5 or queen e7 still options. Maybe now after rook c8, queen a5 is what he wants. Let's say random move. Okay. Very random, I'll admit. This could be a move, no?
Yeah,
Four
before
takes.
knight, before boom. No.
Probably knight b5 is some boring move, but it doesn't feel like
Yeah, then takes knight
white is
e4.
pushing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Then I run into this knight e4 stuff.
Well, h3 was not the best of moves, but it feels like black is okay, no?
Yeah, it does feel like black is okay. It's a position where playing it from the white side might require some real precision, yeah?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Usually,
It's not time to launch an attack with h4 or g4. Well, black's
Yeah.
play is much easier.
okay, question is how much knight g5 achieves? Yeah, because that would be kind of, that's the only thing that I can think of, yeah? How I can ask some questions.
Let me try the same. Queen
Yeah.
e7 would
Okay,
be
now I'm
safer,
gonna
but
go
I'll try
knight
this.
b5.
Ah, you still want this.
Now I covered the e4 square.
Okay.
I'm tricky.
I'm convinced already. I will go here.
Yeah, that was bothering me. But now, for example, after b4, you gonna take or
I
not?
will take. I'm a fearless attacker.
Yeah, it's tricky.
It's quite dangerous, no?
Yeah, it's tricky stuff. However, you still don't threaten me anything. But d4
A
is
bit of a threat. Huh?
yes. Usually, in a post-mortem, when you say that nothing is threatening, it means that the house is burning. Yeah.
Everything under control.
Now I had some idea to sidestep with queen e3, because then to have bishop h7, but in fact after knight takes h7, g5 is hanging with check later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. No, I wanted to take bishop
first,
c3, rook takes, and knight to hit on h7, but it just doesn't work. g5 is
Come back.
falling.
No, it looks... The usual disclaimer, we're unplugged, and maybe computer says 0.20 here, but it looks ugly for white. I don't like it.
Yeah, no, and now Fabi also taking his time.
And Maxime is also not the type of guy you want as your opponent in such a position where there's tactics, small tricks, accuracies, like weaknesses. He's very nasty in this stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of active play, yes.
You can see already, he's keeping his options with his rook c8, preparing queen a5 or queen e7.
Maxim in his element.
Maxime. What else can we tell you guys? You can tweet at us using the hashtag GrenkeChess, and you can interact in the Chess24 chat if you have a question for former World Championship finalist Peter Leko. Then fire away. We might not always have an eye on it and answer, but especially stuff slows down a bit. We are very happy to hear from you guys. I'm now reading the Chess24 chat where one hand is pointing out that Magnus has not lost a game in 51 straight. Which is not a ding streak, but still pretty impressive, no? Against the best of the best, 51 straight unbeaten games. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's good, but somehow I don't like those statistics, you know, because I just remember that not so long ago, 3 months ago, in Vachier-Lagrave people were giving some streaks that Magnus haven't won for, I don't know, 20 games or something.
More, 22. Giri was very happy, 22 straight draws.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
beating the Giri record of 21.
And then it sounded like if Magnus is doing it on purpose or he's not able to win. Then the streak ended. Now everybody speaks already that now he has an unbeaten record. I mean, this is a little bit the double standard that I'm not liking.
That's what we do as pundits. And all credit should go to Jordan van Foreest, who was the first to lose a game to Magnus, releasing the Kraken after this long draw streak.
Yeah, playing this knight d5 Sveshnikov against Magnus feels like a
It would be
suicide.
funny if Paco had prepared this 95 for today, but he didn't get the chance.
No, that was definitely not the case. Yeah, hard to...
Tilt Chess on Twitter saying, Nadic plays one of my favorite openings as white, the Exchange Spanish, very happy. And there we see a picture of you, pre-game fun with Vincent Kaymer and his coach Peter Leko, where I'm not sure what you're doing, people can't see this. Looks like signing the back.
Yeah, I mean, Vincent has quite some struggle reaching to the stage because people are hunting him down, and it's basically my job to secure that he might fulfill some of these requests, but if I feel that it seems like it already bothers him, then I'm the one who interfere that, okay, sorry guys, but now it's enough.
So you're
maybe
like,
after the game, I'm the bad guy.
Like Peter Heine Nielsen, you're not just a second mouse bodyguard, you're like, move out of the way. Please clear the road for Mr. Kaymer.
Yeah, but that's exactly what we kind of discussed with Vincent also, that if you come to the game like 5-10 minutes before the game, then people feel that they have the right to come to you and ask for autographs. But if you are the last one and then you just march, then you can automatically push away the people by saying that, sorry, I'm late, I have to go. So the champs maybe know what they are doing, yeah?
Yeah. And in general, I'm not sure this goes for everybody, but I think people are usually happy to give autographs and take pictures and all that stuff after the game.
Yeah.
But before the game, you're so focused, there's a thousand things, lines running through your head, and you really just want to be left alone. And
yeah, on the other hand, it's also clear that now Vincent is in a very special situation. He plays in Germany at home. He has won the tournament. All the people are rooting for him, cheering for him. Then he kind of also feels that just rushing to the stage without giving any autographs would be also...
No, for him it's tricky, because you don't want to be rude. But I'm saying for the people rooting for him, if you want to support him, leave him alone before the game. That's the biggest favor you can do.
So we are trying to find the right mix.
Yeah.
Yesterday we were clearly way too early. Today it was already better. Tomorrow we might be late already, who knows.
Cool. Magnus saying, you know what, Paco? Let's play g5, see what happens. Usually there is method to this madness, gaining space, asking white what to do. But it's not the first move that would have come to my mind.
Yeah, but I mean, it perfectly fits into Magnus' concept. I mean, first of all, possession is completely justified, and the only way to punish it by spoiling the pawn structure on d6, however, then you give up a very important dark square bishop.
And without the queens, the g5 is not so weakening. Yeah.
Yeah, and then some d5, d4, if comes, then black can even be better. So white should make sure that he blocks this pawn on d6. So with some bishop b3 check on.
And at least, well, black can't be better, but at least you have something to dream of in the future with the two bishops.
No, there are dynamics. No, there are certain dynamics in this position.
So Magnus found a way in his f6, g5 to at least not make it that even, yeah? Because if you go queen d7, it's hard to...
Yeah, on the other hand, I mean, imagine also Paco. I think that he also doesn't mind that something is happening in this game. Yeah, he's not the type of guy who just wants to play symmetrical. So after f6, g5, he also gets the chance to play chess. Now already the question, do you think that queen d6 is forced or cd6 might be a move?
I would blitz out queen d6.
I mean, after cd6 there is bishop f5, no?
Yeah. I didn't even see that.
Isn't it a lovely strategical idea? And then queen d5 check.
Very nice, changing.
And then white stabilizes advantage.
Yeah.
So this means that queen d6 is kind of forced.
Bernard Patrice is asking, hey, GM Jan Gustafsson, and if you had a Twitter handle, he would have mentioned you too. How do you think the first Super GM will feel if Vincent manages to secure a win in any of these, the Grenke chess tournament? Generally, people don't like to lose, and I would guess they would not be happy to lose to Vincent. Still, it's not easy to secure a win against the Super GM. Vincent is outrated by, well, depending on the Super GM, but let's say 200 till 300 points. So it won't be easy, but how will they feel if they lose to the outsider? Bad.
Yeah, definitely. I think that basically the other Super GMs are very much rooting for Vincent in each game, because imagine,
Sure,
yeah, I mean, for their tournament situation, it would be just a dream scenario if Vincent manages to get a point from some of the rivals. So in this sense, I believe that yesterday wasn't a very happy day for all the top guys, because when they saw that Magnus is on the ropes and just push this h-pawn, and who knows what would have happened with Magnus there. But okay, I mean, this is just some thoughts. Clearly everybody minds his own business, focuses on his own games. But it's clear, if suddenly there is a big surprise, they can be happy about it.
Yeah. Generally, though, if you talk to the top guys, sounds like a cliche, but they always say, I play game after game, I don't follow the tournament, I prepare for my next opponent, and that's the way to do it. Yeah, you don't lose energy, like worrying too much about other people's business. But of course, you want the outsiders to score points, except against you. All right, queen d6 played. Paco, looking at the position, I would assume he's going to take on d6. No, what else? Is there a case to be made for knight b2? I don't think so.
Then you just lose the game for nothing. No, you have to take on d6 and you have to block this pawn. I mean, whether you block it with bishop b6 check or rook d1, but somehow I feel like rook d1 loses too much time. I don't want to give this...
Some bishop g4 business.
Also
maybe?
some knight e5, maybe with some knight g4, knight c4 ideas. I don't know, it just gives too much freedom for black. I don't want to do that. So I would like then already play maybe bishop b3 check, king g7, and develop this knight as quickly as possible. Probably to a3 in order to get knight c2. I mean, if I manage to get knight c2 rook d1, then I can be happy, but you have, again, a lot of tempos. I mean,
95 maybe?
95. I'm just not in time, yeah? 95, okay, I have to go bishop, but then knight d3 can appear. Okay, it feels like, I mean, I don't think that white has any chances of fighting for advantage here.
Yeah, the bishop pair also, as neither of players, we know it's a good margin of security. Even if you lose the d-pawn, doesn't mean you lose the game in such a position with the two bishops. Yeah, so. No, Magnus should be fine. The question is, can he create any winning chances, any play? We shall see. There's a question by Evans Gambit in the Chess24 chat. Is it better for Super GM to be white or black against Vincent?
Yeah, clearly white.
Well, it's always better to be white, but I think especially against Vincent, because with white, you can play a normal game and you don't have to go out of your way to create winning chances. When, as you mentioned yesterday, if you play a crappy opening or a sharp opening, you don't usually play. You also give up a lot of playing strength and knowledge about certain stuff. Well, with white you can just do your thing. So yeah, you want white, but of course
Yeah,
you
basically.
also want white against everybody, so...
Yeah, but especially against the outsider, you really desperately want white, because exactly for that reason you can play your own chess. You don't have to get out of your comfort zone. It's like in an open tournament. If you face a 2400 player with white, you think like, okay, everything is in my own hands. If I'm black, then it's kind of a nightmare. How am I gonna play
It's night
for
and
a
day.
win?
With
Yeah.
white you just prepare something, you put some pressure, you're very happy. With black you think, this crappy line, that crappy line. If I play my normal stuff, like,
It's
yeah,
draw
it's very,
everywhere.
very, very different.
Yeah.
Do you think that the difference between white and black is too big and we should start every game with one a3? That should make it more even, no?
In which sense?
Well, every game starts from this position. Like,
But
this
I mean,
should be
there is
closer to equality, no? Like,
no. But I mean, even after white's move, there is no advantage. I mean, without a3. I mean, if we start with a3, then probably it's much easier to create theory where black just equalizes.
yeah, for sure. Well, that's what I'm saying. This position should be quite equal. Like a3, d5 is probably more equal than 1, d4. No?
Yeah, definitely. But since you know that even 1d4 is nothing, then what to do?
Fair enough. So you feel like it should be the other way around. Like black should be forced to play something crappy to make it more exciting. So like e4, a6.
No. I mean, I just feel like it's always, if you play with white, doesn't matter how solid your opponent is playing. You are white, you have to make sure at home you keep on working that you come up with some idea where you will at least test your opponent or put him a couple of questions and then see what's happening. Of course, it's extremely time consuming, it requires awful lot of energy. Because exactly that's why we also see in all these World Championship matches that there are so many draws. Of course, there are so many draws. First of all, the two best players are playing against each other. Secondly, they are very, very well prepared. And also, all the players, when they start their preparation, they make sure that against e4, d4, c4, knight f3, my repertoire with black stands. And once that's the case, only then you start moving.
We have a week left. Let's look at white stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Problems
jump around.
everywhere. Yeah, I mean,
Been there, done that.
with white to prepare, it's always a nightmare.
What is going on? Mr. Dodgy is saying it is hard to troll early in the tournament. I don't know what he means by trolling.
Probably just to play some nonsense or some...
I guess that's what he means. Like e4, a6, but
I mean,
I'm not sure.
what Magnus did yesterday was kind of already...
Sort of trolling, yeah.
Sort of trolling, yeah.
Again, trolling is not my specialty, so I'm not quite sure what he's talking about. What else do we have?
Well, we have a lot of complicated games, but everything is in the process of really heating up. Yeah?
Knight c1. Where's this guy going? d3?
To d3.
What do I do? Like h5, h4?
Also question, do you want to put the pawn on f6 just in case, so you don't want to waste time on for
I feel
that?
I don't have to yet because
Yeah.
I'm undecided if f5 or f6, but not sure at all. You
Also
can also
if-
make a case for, do you want to exchange stuff? Or
Yeah,
not? It's
or
tricky.
you want to play b6, bishop b7, get ready for c5. I don't know, that's also a move that would come to my mind. No, just b6, especially after knight c1, because the white somehow wants to go with knight to d3 or b3. No, so if I
Feels
go
equal,
b6,
but there's a lot of strategic questions.
yeah, exactly.
Or
I mean,
decisions to be made, yeah.
it's nicely playable, this position, for both sides. I like b6. Somehow it's flexible.
Johnny B. Love is saying, Mr. Dodgy always gets a mention, no matter what he writes. There you go, you got him another mention, Johnny B. Good job. A lot of controversy in the Chess24 chat. And there's another question, which I think it's mainly cultural differences, but it's a topic that's often brought up, so I will explain what I think, because there's a question, is the Taimanov as bad as the Paulsen? And I think we mean the same thing by Taimanov and Paulsen. In Germany, we call this line the Paulsen. Then knight c3, queen c7.
You call it...
We call this Paulsen, but in English I think it's called Taimanov mainly,
Yes.
while in German, understanding Taimanov is only if you go a6, knight g e7, which is not very topical anymore, but that's how what we would call the Taimanov.
Okay.
While this e6, a6, we call the Khan, but I think in English it's called the Paulsen.
And in
So I always
Hungarian, if
get
we
very
speak about Pausen,
confused
then this
about-
is the Pausen, e6,
Exactly.
a6. And this is exactly the line which...
This is what Vincent was playing.
yeah, he was playing, yeah. I mean, it's very easy to play with black, but it's always the case. If it's easy, it's also easy for your opponent.
Yeah, and there's also three very serious moves here. C4,
Yeah.
bishop d3, knight c3, all of which asking questions, so it's tough.
Yeah.
Choice?
I mean, the Taimanov, which, you already mentioned, this knight c3, queen c7, this is a very serious...
This is more respectable because you're limiting white's choice further. Here, knight c3, more or less,
Exactly.
is the only serious move, and after queen c7, there's debates, bishop e3, queen f3, g3, whatever, but this is a more respected slash respectable opening than e6, a6, which...
This is perfectly fine,
Yeah, the Khan or the Paulsen, depending how you call it. But there's always this misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Because in different languages we call these openings different things. But yeah, I would say e6, knight c6 better than e6, a6 in the grand scheme of things. Also, if you want to get philosophical, sort of logical that developing the knight is better than moving the pawn.
No,
then
okay,
again,
on
the
the
knight
other
off,
hand,
you also
yeah.
play a6, not knight c6.
Yeah, that you committed the knight already to c6. No, in general, this a6 Pausen is typically the weapon that if you face weaker opposition is the perfect opening to play for a win. There are no real forced lines. More or less the better player will outplay the opponent. But against stronger oppositions, then already direct preparation, direct knowledge plays a big role. And if you start facing always the critical position, which is not much fun, then it's clear that you feel like it's time to move on.
Yeah. Even against weaker opponents, if they play 2-4-50 here and he knows his theory after c4, like it's not going to be so easy to create chances, no, but
Okay, but you can get to this
you
hedgehog
can get some
position.
hedgehog. Keep your poker face. No, I agree. It's, it's this thing I always struggle with. To play such a position with black and understanding that you get better winning chances than playing e4, e5 and for the 10,000th time. And one day. Vishy's played h3, rook e1, bishop g7, h3. Just, I guess, preparing for h4. He doesn't want any pawn
Yeah, of course.
on h3.
Now the question also for black, how to proceed. How to proceed. Because a very natural play would be knight c5, bishop b1, and knight fd7, yeah? To try to push f5. But here we see this moment that this knight on g3, maybe after f5 some sacrifices can happen. Okay, you're going to play a3 usually in this type of structure. That's why I was not sure, bishop b1 or bishop c2, because a3 can be met by a4.
a4, yeah, that's a good point.
So maybe bishop c2 only that it felt a bit...
Sorry.
Yeah, now white comes with b4, and then bishop might get to a4.
Yeah. And f5, b4 looks like this can't go well for black. No, even bishop f5 is in the air, but strategically
Yeah, also
looks
some bishop a4
tricky.
just
Yeah.
can be.
But let me just
On the other hand, the game continues, yeah? It's queen f6.
okay, fun over. Nah. Looks dangerous, no? Have some rook
Okay,
swings.
rook f8.
This eliminates my rook swings, I have to admit. But
Yeah, I mean with the knight on f5. You always compensate.
Yeah, not forced, but in general,
Yeah.
Black has to be careful what to put where. If I just play caveman style, you go knight e2, or what do you do?
Yeah, it's a question. I guess. No, I don't know what I'm guessing because guess is the wrong word here. Somehow after rook e1 it feels like white wants to go to f1, but on the other hand,
What do you want?
rook e1 also kind of keeps an eye on the e4 square. So, but now the pawn on h4 is a target.
Yeah, I thought maybe here, but it's a strange position. So queen g4, it's not so easy to move anything.
Queen g4.
f5. I'd be tempted to play this, but then I'd be upset here.
There is another idea. Instead of h4 or anything, just to go queen e7, queen f8, bishop h6.
Yep.
And just not moving anything because, okay, finally this knight c5 leads nowhere. I basically strategically have to exchange this dark square bishop.
I can't hit you.
Well, that's already a very double-edged question. Then I might go h4. Yeah, knight.
Probably not him.
Yeah, e4. And then knight
Yeah,
h5.
it's dangerous.
This is dangerous.
A little bit dangerous. Yeah, maybe. Be humble. Generally, of course, if you get this, even if white makes some progress here, black should be fine. Interesnia. Can I go like bishop g5 here, maybe?
Okay, queen f8.
I just want
Knight
to make
h7.
it harder.
Knight h7. f5.
Yeah, I didn't achieve much there.
Well,
f4, you don't really want to play like all these weaknesses. No, this doesn't work. Yeah, good move, queen e7. I like it.
I think it was played in, I mean, not in this position, but Wojtasek also played this queen e7, queen f8 against Nair in that game.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that was different because I don't remember if black pushed this a5, b3 so early.
Yeah, either is tough. There are some questions about the ideas of 6 bishop d3. In general, people got tired of bishop e3, then they got tired of bishop g5, then they got tired of h3. Well, they've been tired of bishop e2 for 20 years, so they started looking at other moves. First they tried a4, then they tried a3,
Knight
then they
b3.
tried knight b3, then they tried h4, and then they thought, okay, you know what? We can also develop this bishop to this square. Let's look at that. How bad can that be? We prepare castles, defend this pawn, keep our options open. And there we are. Sometimes it's just wanting to do something new.
Yeah, and also I think one of the reasons why this bishop d3 came back to spotlight was that Grishuk came up 2017 in Moscow, FIDE Grand Prix against Vachier-Lagrave, I think with this idea. Bishop c1 back.
Knight f6.
And knight f6 and now bishop d3.
Here they used to play bishop c4, but it's nothing but bishop d3, pointing
bishop
at g6.
d3. The point is there that e5, knight d2, so we are having exactly the same position like in our game. However, the big difference is that now when the knight gets to g3, then after bishop e6, bishop e6, knight d5, bishop d5, e d5, you can't go g6 like in the game because the pawn on h6 is weak. So, okay, there are pro and contra arguments that, okay, then maybe black has to choose a different setup, but basically that was the big revelation of Grishuk, that that this pawn on h6 usually always benefits black in these e5 structures, but exactly with bishop d3, knight d2, white has this idea. However, for this reason, I think people never really taken this knight g3 so seriously, because consider that, okay, takes g6, that's basically a position that any knight-off player who plays with e5, and that's what we call knight-off because e6 is the Scheveningen structure, should be happy.
Looks
playing,
pretty healthy.
It's very healthy. Yeah.
Also,
Vincent played queen e7.
nice move. Could be a bit similar than this 7 knight d5 Sveshnikov, which we talked about yesterday. That the computer normally likes this. Grabs some space, wants to go c4, b4, and I don't know what he says here, but generally you start with 0-30 in such a position, which makes people more inclined to look at it than just thinking, okay, g6 blocks my bishop and my knight, I'm done, yeah? Because computers, well, they can make many things work.
Yeah, in general, always this ed5 structure computer likes for white.
That's what I'm saying.
It's kind of typical, however, and the gut feeling of a super player somehow in the 90s and beginning of 2000s was always that this structure is kind of too dangerous for white, because already black is playing for 3 results. I mean, that you play with white doesn't really make any difference.
No, that's both still true, yeah. It's what Magnus said. Even if it's objectively dangerous, like it's not easier to play. So yeah, I like Vincent's position here. Or, well, he's not better, but it's a full-fledged fight. He made it out of the opening. So kudos to you and him.
No, I'm also very happy that he came up with this queen e7 move, because I'm in fact not 100% sure he had to look at so many different things that this Neuer game versus Wojtaszek, is he in his mind or not? It's a big question, yeah? I mean, if we would just be focusing on this one game, it's another issue, but it's just one of thousands, yeah.
Magnus played g4 here, very direct. Wants to push this knight away from the d4 square before knight b3, knight ft4 or something happens. It's still somewhat ugly move at first sight. Knight h4. What does he want? f5?
f5, I assume.
You don't want to allow anybody jumping here, no?
Yeah. I'm a little bit surprised, because you remember I was saying that this d pawn should be blocked. That's why he didn't play d5, but maybe then d5, bishop b3, some...
I think he's just afraid of this. Knight ft4 and draw.
Yeah, so he felt like this is his momentum to keep some tension, yeah? In the position knight h4. Okay, he has to go f5, and then it's move per move. I mean, some knight c4, d5, knight d6. What is this?
You have to go d5.
No, you don't have to, but...
Let's caveman it up. Ali.
I know, he pushed d5. So he went g4, and then he played d5.
Well, that allows something to get here, bishop or knight.
Yeah, slightly strange, yeah, to combine g4 with d5. But on the other hand, as you said, yeah, d5 was mad by knight b3.
It's the usual. Even if it's not the best moves, he's making sure to keep the game going, and he probably doesn't feel like his position is in much danger here either way.
Yeah, the bishop on e7 is such an asset in this position that it always guarantees you drawing chances even if things go completely wrong.
So what do? Bishop f5 comes to mind, just trying to
Bishop f5
secure the square.
comes to mind, yeah. Then maybe knight e5. Maybe just I ignore and I want to touch f2 and b2 pawns, yeah? It's tricky.
Don't touch my pawns.
Don't touch me, please, yeah? Rook a d1.
That's what she said.
Yeah, rook d1 is kind of nice. Maybe I have to play rook d8, which I did not want. It's a move I don't want to do.
Yeah, still in control now, or control is strong, but not in danger, at least.
No, I mean, clearly not in danger. In general, this g4, d5 is also a bit risky for black. It gives dynamic ideas for black, it also gives dynamic ideas for white. It's the usual business.
We're being informed by Grandmaster Pro Wizard, who apparently is a Grandmaster and a professional wizard, which is a unique achievement, that rook e8 instead of knight e5 is a good move.
Uh-huh. And if rook e1, then knight e5, yeah?
Maybe rook e5.
Or even rook e5. Yeah, rook e5.
Makes sense.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's modern chess already. I mean, you can't really sit on squares. Yeah, there's always so much dynamics, so much move per move stuff.
It only works because we have this powerhouse.
Yeah, of course. This bishop is a jolly joker.
How do you like Paco's shirt today? I think it's too many colors.
Too many, yeah.
I think a shirt should be like 2 colors maximum. Can be checkered or stripes, but all these colors. What is it? Red, green, another green, another green. Some brown in there.
Yeah,
Not a fan.
Usually, I always like to come in clean plain colors, but I mean, okay, if he feels that this inspires him and gives him energy, then I mean, chess players are somehow superstitious. Yeah, I mean, whenever you choose a shirt, I don't say that you want to claim that this is the shirt and this will give me the strength, but I mean, a little bit, it's in your head, yeah, and you will definitely not use a losing shirt twice.
No,
in
that's
a row.
for sure.
Yeah.
Can we see Levon Aronian's shirt for comparison?
No, it's plain, no?
It's plain, but it's very aggressive plain color. It's what, mint green?
Mint green.
Lemon green? I don't know what kind of green it is.
And that's aggressive, yeah?
It's aggressive to me. There's Georg Meyer. Also, too many colors. Yeah. 2 colors max. No one's following my rule. It's 3 colors. And yeah, showing a lot of arm there. I don't know, some bold fashion choice today. There's Levon's shirt. It is a unicolor, so we can't be too harsh on him. He likes his bright colors.
Yeah, he likes, yeah. He also had this cat shirt, no? I mean, he was playing all this, t-shirt. No,
he has this weird cat t-shirt, yeah.
Yeah, in Tbilisi World Cup, he kept on playing the tie breaks in the cat t-shirt and terrorizing his opponents. He also managed to win the World Cup.
Yeah.
So it proves him right.
And also, he is an established super grandmaster, celebrity in his country. He has money, so I think we should call him eccentric, not crazy. Because if you're an established guy, you can get away with more clothing choices.
Yeah, and Georg takes rook d8. So Levon is 135 on his clock, yeah? Wow, I mean,
but it's Levon. Sometimes he just blitzes out the first 20 moves for fun, even though he's never seen it before, pretending. It's all Armenian home cooking.
Yeah, but basically it's also a very natural structure, yeah? I mean, there is nothing to think about. He follows his plan, and then the question is how he will treat this position later on, yeah?
Yeah.
Because it's a bit of a suffering. And usually in such suffering, it's very important to have this 136 on the clock because it signals confidence toward your opponent and shows like, I have everything under control, so the willingness to agree to a draw or to be more peaceful is automatically there. If you have 20 minutes against 1 hour on the clock, then the white player will get more and more ambitious.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Levon's dreaming of making a draw here against Georg. I think he wouldn't mind provoking some action. But how, no? It's such a solid position for white.
Yeah, but did he play knight ed2?
Yep.
Knight ed2, okay. That's a move I'm not...
Very solid.
Really? But...
It's queen e4.
Yeah, but very strange. I mean, what does it mean? He took rook takes d8, queen d8, so white just wants to make sure that nothing happens without really thinking what I'm going to do, because now I can also touch you with queen a5.
Yeah.
I just don't
Maybe
understand.
miss queen a5?
No, I mean, he will never miss this, but I
Well,
mean,
what's
it
the idea?
just,
Go back?
just feels very strange, no? That you lost 2 tempo with rook d8 and now removing the knight.
I think he absolutely missed it. Why allow this?
I mean, why not to play queen d2, for example? If you want to be super solid instead of knight d2, then just play queen d2. Isn't it the case that if you exchange the queen, then you have the right to squeeze? So black should kind of keep the queens. But if you keep the queens, then my queen on d2 is perfectly covering all the squares. No, this knight ed2,
I think he missed this, unless we're missing something, which is not impossible. But you obviously don't want to go a4.
Yeah, I don't want
If
to
you
go
go back,
a4.
you even have to think about this, once again asking questions.
Yeah. No, I'm actually quite shocked because Georg is a very nice positioner player. Yeah? I mean, with a lot of, feel for details, for finesses. That how could he come up with knight? I thought that the position is that the knight is still on d2 and his next move gonna be knight e4.
Yeah,
and all of a
feels more
sudden it's
logical.
knight ed2. Yeah?
We'll see. Levon's taking time for the first time. Maybe knight ed2 was not in the Armenian handbook of chess openings.
Yeah, but I feel like Levon is kind of surprised. He's looking like, what is behind?
He allows me to go queen a5. What is this?
What is the purpose behind this? Yeah, somehow queen d2 or g3, king g2. I mean, those were the 2 moves that came to mind, no? I mean, it's the typical Russian chess school. You're just going to go g3, king g2, improve your situation.
It's like Kramnik says, no? If you can go g3, king g2, do it. I'd go g4, but I'm a very aggressive player.
Yeah, no, g4.
Yeah.
No,
Levon Aronian in deep thought. So to sum it up, you're okay with Levon's shirt.
I'm perfectly okay with Levon's shirt.
There's Fabi. That's a nice shirt. White. Plain, simple.
Yeah, what they have been...
Sidler exchanged a bunch of rooks.
Yeah, that's actually quite surprising to me that he took and then played b6.
Maybe he feels he only needs 1 rook in these
He
positions.
only needs 1, yeah. No, but now after knight d3 he went a5 because my point was exactly that after b6, knight d3 I wanted to go c5 because you are pinned.
Right. Knight d5, rook d5.
Yeah. But maybe some f5, knight e5, knight d5 was ugly.
Yeah. a5 well, stops knight b4 or b4 fixing the pawns. Maybe
Also bishop
some
a6.
lines, bishop a6
Yeah,
could be
somewhere.
enough.
Yeah, I mean black is so solid.
Black is very solid in these
Yeah.
positions. In general, computers, they're not so scared of this 4 versus 3 that we're
Not at
taught
all,
as
yeah.
little kids. They always say 0-0, and like no matter what, you can
Yeah.
exchange pieces, you can do whatever.
Yeah, even sometimes it gives advantage for black.
Yeah, sometimes.
I mean, humanly you don't understand anything and all of a sudden computer says, no, actually black is just better. And then you make some human move and already white is again perfectly fine, maybe even pressing. So it's a little bit confusing,
Yeah.
all this understanding.
We haven't looked at Monsieur Fabi against Monsieur MVL for a while, so let's try to figure out where. Knight 3 castles, bishop d3, rook c8 we've seen. Both sides taking time now. Rook h1, rook e8, h3. MVL not in a hurry to go for this queen a5, yeah? What bothers him? Knight b1?
No, but
Knight
now
b5?
knight b5. Now white has the e4 square under control, no?
And queen e7?
Okay, queen e7, you step into the pin. It's not...
Queen d6, last try.
No, he runs into knight b5 tempo.
Can't win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
e6.
I mean, how difficult the position is, it's shown by the time management. Yeah, I mean, both players are taking their time. It's just move 14. And both players are thinking. It's a very, I mean, just one wrong move and you can end up in a really bad position. So it's absolutely justified to think.
I should give people a brief warning that in 22 minutes at 5 p.m. we will have our daily quiz question. So mentally prepare for that. I believe you can win either a 3-month premium membership on Chess24, or if you are already a premium member, which of course I highly recommend, completely unbiased, then you can win a 3-month extension. So get ready, 5 p.m. our time. Quiz question coming up.
Yeah, I'm also already curious what kind of question it's going to be.
I already forgot.
After yesterday's candidate stuff,
yeah.
because you kind of complained that you wanted some more complex question. So
I forgot what today's question is. I don't think it was very complex.
You are raising the stakes.
Nah.
No?
Nah, still. Easy peasy. Boy went knight to f5.
It's the most natural, I would say.
Yeah.
Because the bishop on c2 guards the d3 square.
Yeah, it's not such an idiot.
Yeah.
No need to exchange it for this guy.
Exactly.
Still, can we go for this rook e8 business and rook e5 again?
Yeah, rook e8. Okay, rook e1 should be played.
Oh, I'm not sure which rook. Let's.
Yeah, okay, rook f1, rook here, and now maybe knight d6. Jumping in there makes sense or not? Or you just gonna ignore and go bishop e6?
Somewhere.
Yeah, this e5 square. So resembles some Sveshnikov also, yeah? You give up squares, but you get some squares, and if you manage to place some piece there, it creates some...
Yeah, I still feel like black is fine. This bishop is so nice.
No, I like black's position very much. No, in fact, this can be just bad for white.
Target the guy, yes, you have to pay attention.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, now that Magnus played this f6 g5, I recalled also that, yeah, f6 g5 was there. It was one of the, I mean, once you see that the black has so many options, you just don't even want to continue.
Danger More 5 is saying, I have an auto-renewing membership. Do I get 3 months after I die? We could do that, or we could just add them right now and you think auto-renews after your 3 free month. Both sound reasonable to me.
There is also some question about what is the optimal time for training, yeah?
Oof, but it's too early for the discussions on how many hours to train per day and when, no? Like with so many games.
Well,
tell us, what's the optimal time?
Well, yeah, I mean, I just saw there and I thought that it makes sense to answer a little bit.
Go ahead.
Just that, basically, it depends what you want to achieve, what you want from chess. Yeah, I mean, if you want to be a full-time professional and you want to get the best out of your possibilities, then of course as much as possible. I don't know if that answer kind of and basically how you combine that you go to school or you don't go to school, or you are just home all day and you can spend all your time.
You pay off your mortgage or not? Like there's many practical questions.
Yeah, I mean basically it simply depends on you. That's one of the advantages of being a professional chess player, that you don't have a boss. So you have the right to find the timing according to your liking. This is one of the very big privileges chess players do have, a part of many negative things. Yeah.
What negative things?
No, okay, I mean, you don't have a stable income, you are a little bit, I mean, it's not the usual life, not the usual stable life. You are a lot on the road. Some people like it, some don't. But I think all chess players are agreeing that being so flexible in your daily routine is one of the biggest.
Freedom is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Now that I spent most of my days in an office pretending to work, like it's nice to go on the road.
Wow, knight f5 d4 was played.
d4? Very direct.
I'm not liking it for white.
So what was your answer? What's the optimal time to work on chess?
Yeah, basically it depends on you, what you want from chess. Because I
want to get to 2,650.
And what is your rating?
2,640. It's true. Very important for reasons I can't disclose here. Win these 10 points.
Wow. No, then it's a hopeless case. Yeah, I mean,
Hopeless, yeah?
yeah, if you haven't reached 2650, no, I mean, okay, just some organizational question. No focus, also. I mean, put priorities, because basically it's clear that your chess knowledge is enough for 2650, but okay, you are commenting, you are busy with many things, then basically you don't treat chess with such a respect that your rating should grow.
Sad but true.
But also it's probably not that important for you anymore.
Ah, no, believe me.
Being a celebrity as a commentator, no, it's so much more pleasing. No?
Yeah. You know me. Celebrity status, the path in all these adoring fans when we get out here. It's beautiful. Yeah, I think next year's Thailand Open, 2650 will fall. That's the plan.
Yeah, no, of course.
What are your goals? Do you have goals, rating-wise, chess-wise?
Well, I mean, I always have goals chess-wise, but I mean, now my rating is so low that I don't know. However, now that all my thoughts are with Vincent, basically, almost during the whole year. Of course, I'm playing, then I try to prepare as much as possible. I keep on working anyway, but it's very tricky when you combine your own chess career with paying so much attention to someone else. Yeah, because I have to make sure build Vincent's repertoire. This takes incredible lot of time. The things that I believe that it's right for Vincent and for his future is not necessarily good for me at the moment, but it's not the main priority. That's why he's also not playing Berlin or Italian or anti-Berlins, because I thought that he's 13 years old. Last year I shouldn't, it would be much more comfortable for me teaching him what I play, but I felt like Najdov in a long run is much more useful and much more important. And then if you invest so much time and energy into this, then you forget all your own stuff. And once you are in this circle, then already I just try not to, I anyway put way too much pressure on myself, but I try to take it a little bit, at least philosophical, not to be such a perfectionist, because then I just go crazy.
Just give me a number. 27? What are we shooting for here?
No, okay, it would be nice to, but I mean, I had 2700 when it meant like it was, I think my first 2700 meant I entered top 10. So basically, since 2700 doesn't mean top 10 anymore, I just don't care at all if I'm 2690, 2670, 275. It doesn't make my life any different.
I just want 2651. It does make my life different.
Really, yeah?
It's true. I'll explain why.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that it would be unpolite to to ask the reasoning.
Very simple reasoning.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
Yeah, it's a good question. What is going on? Because Black implemented this plan of Queen e7, Queen f8. So Vishy anticipated with Bishop e3, Queen d2. And now if you continue with King h7, then Vincent might feel that the knight on g3 with the spin on h5 would hurt him. So he decided that now it's the right moment to go h4, knight e2, and probably then King h7, bishop h6. I mean, bishop g5 can be met by bishop h6 exchanging, and now he feels that maybe it's easier. But now maybe knight c3, knight b5 gets in time to attack the d6 pawn.
My plan was king h1, knight g1, knight f3. It's a little slow.
Yeah.
You'll go e4 once I have my knight on g1.
Yeah, but in this case, then king h7 plan simply does not work, so I shouldn't.
Because here bishop h6, just to illustrate, you just swap down a knight b5.
Exactly. And after
sort of
rook
a double
a6,
attack, but
knight c7, yeah, is still a fork. Yeah, so this is probably not his plan. However, if this is not his plan, then what is he up to? Then why did he? Then he wants to go knight h5, maybe. Yeah? I mean h4, knight e2, and knight h5.
Still horsey, and you want to go f5, yeah, make it.
Yeah, I want to keep now the queens on the board. Yeah.
Maybe threaten f4. Caveman style.
Oh, it gives me...
Interesting.
Yeah, it gives me some dynamics.
What do we do? Bishop g5?
Then I have maybe bishop f6.
Yeah. Horsey.
Horsey, yeah?
Horsing around.
Yeah, that's one of the dangers Black is facing, that he might be just trying to play his own game, but he should make sure not to overexpand, yeah? Because this b5 square, h4 pawn, d6 pawn, c7 square, they are a little bit...
Some soft spots, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Might still be fine, but it feels a bit dangerous.
Yeah. He went knight h5, yeah, because, okay, the idea of pushing h4 is clearly connected with knight h5.
Another move that could be an option is the immediate bishop g5. But I'm not even sure if after f6
Yeah,
I can take, because you have some bishop h6.
But also bishop g5, you have to watch out for e4, yeah?
Yeah, e4.
Maybe e4 is a move.
Knight c3.
Yeah, knight c3, yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
What else is there? Knight f4, but I can just ignore it. It's standing in the way. No, f5 looks logical as well.
Yeah, and then this b5 square and this b5 square. And the only problem that, okay, if black is not playing a5, then black faces this b4 plan, so it's...
Yeah, but you keep coming back to this. Yeah, this a5 is very committal.
It's very committal, yeah. I mean, with this knight having the route to b5. Because usually the knight is in many structures on b3, and then black plays a5, and white goes knight a1, knight c2, knight a3, knight b5. And it takes like 1, 2, 3, 4. And from g3 just 1, 2, and already also on c3 it stays perfect, knight b5. Yeah, okay, complex position, but probably white.
It's easier to play for white.
Yeah, knight's easier.
Knight c3, knight b5, and well, don't hang a piece. But f5, bishop g5, it's quite stable. Yeah, well, as you mentioned, Vishy is pretty good at knight of structures.
Yeah, he's
no surprise there.
Excellent, yeah. So, and here we have queen a5 in Maxim.
Finally, let the games begin. Even though maybe it's just knight b5, exchange queens, some boring stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I had this feeling that knight b5, queen d2, rook d2, knight e4, bishop e4, d, rook e4, some Marshall-ish bang bang, and draw.
There's also knight a4 here.
No, knight b5 played.
I played already. Okay, no, it's not. So takes probably rook, f2 is hanging.
Yeah, rook takes, and but knight e4 I couldn't make it work. Takes, rook takes. Still too many pieces along the c file.
Yeah, also rook h8.
Yeah.
Just nothing left. Yeah, this is not what you want. So what do you want? Just a6? Looks like you have to go back now.
Or knight d4, no? Knight b d4?
Oh yeah.
Aren't we supposed to blockade the isolated pawn? And then white is very, very happy. So what is in store? What is in store? What is in store for
menu.
us? No, because this certainly is not the idea.
Yeah.
This is certainly not the idea. But okay, queen takes d2 has to be played.
Does it? Okay. Queen b6, bishop f6, we just get checkmated.
Yeah, that's just too much. That's just too much.
Not going to be able to do it. But Maxim, he's tricky. He must have some point. Okay. takes. D4 comes to mind, but I do not see a trick here, unfortunately. I can take here and here, maybe,
yeah,
but
this is
it
very
looks
bad.
bad.
Yeah. This is very bad.
Even rook e8, knight
Yeah,
e8, and then he moved king b2, bishop e4.
Also a7 is hanging.
Yeah.
No, it's... it's a bit strange. But usually I think if black plays for this, there should be a way to liquidate.
I'm feeling it's some weird cheapo, but I can't see it at all. Knight
Yeah,
b4
the
doesn't
chip,
work.
I mean, yeah,
bishop
knight
b4
before
doesn't
bishop
work.
b4 doesn't seem to...
Queen b6 is too slow. Maybe he's just saying, well, this position is not scary, and he moved bishop d7. But it feels a bit passive.
Yeah, it feels a bit passive.
Show me the money.
Yeah, and the rook d2, then you're gonna go knight e4 maybe, yeah? Maybe
Maybe
that...
takes a knight e4, wasn't sure.
Yeah, I mean both.
this
Yeah,
is
no,
saying-
bishop d7 is nice.
Because bishop f6, gf, once
Yeah.
again, this guy is so strong that I don't think I'm in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, unless maybe I have some plan with... Okay, rook e8 probably I have to play. And I wanted to go some b4, king b2, c3. Can I cement my position? But I somehow don't believe in it.
Yeah, still.
Well, I mean, if you go bishop b6, then even I had knight d6.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, yeah. And bishop f8, I have knight c7. Yeah, this
No, it's a good point.
this is not so simple. But if I start with bishop f6, you can take rook e1. I mean, there are all kinds of...
Yeah, that's more precise.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Then you take. So if I take first on e8, yeah,
It's not exactly my dream.
yeah.
Yeah, I can do this.
I can even maybe
Oh,
start
b4.
with b4, yeah, first, yeah.
B4.
No, it feels like white has free hand there.
Yeah. We'll see what Maxim comes up with. I'm reading in the Chess24 chat that Vallejo's position is deteriorating. That sounds a bit strong, no? d4, knight c4, is it so bad?
Well, I didn't like the position by itself, simply for the fact that, okay, it's clear that black has no problems, and to play such positions with white, it's always more difficult, because, okay, you are not supposed to play primitively for a draw, but you also feel like maybe I should already settle for a draw. There is also no clear solution for it. In this sense, knight c4 followed by knight cd6 feels kind of very logical, no?
Feels very sensible to me. I don't see, like, maybe there's something wrong, but it looks fairly sensible to me.
Yeah, it kind of I would call knight c4 a way for safety.
Yeah.
You take in account that your pawn structure will be damaged, but suddenly you have nice pieces, then the pair of bishop don't have such a big impact. No, I don't see why black should have any problem.
I'm
why
reading
should
this
he?
move, which I hadn't thought of.
A knight
I'm
e5
reading
immediately,
it, there's
yeah?
a fair chance.
And then knight cd6, d3, bishop b3 check, and then just play, yeah? But okay, this is awkward for both, yeah? This is very hard to judge. But again, this bishop on a7, yeah, long term. But this is very strange.
Yeah, so it's hard to touch this construction,
Yeah,
no?
very hard
Looks
to
very
touch.
shaky, but it's holding.
Yeah, whenever I prepare f4, then my king is going to be busted.
We'll see. I'm also reading that Cesse says equal, so it's not like Paco's lost here.
Yeah, no, okay, it can never be lost. By the way, hang on, 95, I just that you said 95, I had 95 this intention, but I mean it also allows
I can
this.
also take a 97, no?
Yeah, then I'm pinned. I might get into some pawn down opposite colored position with the f2 pawn.
Not so easy.
It's
yeah.
not a dream draw.
No, it's true.
Maybe already you have to go c4 here. It's a nice move. Rook c4, bishop d3. And then hold this. But
Probably holding, but
yeah.
are you happy? C4,
No.
b5 is also there.
Yeah, b5, c5.
Oh,
Okay,
same.
yeah,
Same,
I mean,
same.
okay, it's pawn down for nothing. Just for blockade.
And get your keyboards ready, boys and girls. It's 1 minute till quiz time. The great quiz.
Okay, we'll change the position.
Flo J is asking, is there a quiz today? The answer is yes.
Who is this?
That's not the question, but it's often the answer if you want to know what's happening in the position, in the Magnus game. But today's question is the following. Here we go. Magnus Carlsen faces Vallejo for the 7th time in tournament chess today. What year was their first tournament game?
Well, that's a good one.
Excellent question. We sort of talked about it yesterday, but I don't think I gave the year. So you can guess, or you can know.
You mentioned you were there, yeah?
No, I was there. It was Spanish League, I believe, board 1. Magnus Carlsen was still very young, and I've seen many answers, including the correct one. The year was 2004. Paco Vallejo won the game with the white pieces in reasonably easy fashion. But then the next time they faced was a couple of years later in 2010, and the tables had turned a little bit, because in 2010 Magnus, I think, was already the #1 in the world. So yeah, the answer is 2004, when Magnus was 13 years old, I think.
Yeah, when was the Spanish League?
But yeah, you gotta beat them early. Did you beat Magnus when he was young, or when he was not so young?
Well, I mean, I played my first game with him 2006 at the Tal Memorial. He was just turning 16. That was our first game. That was a draw. And then 2007 and 2008, I beat him 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah, so I moved to +3. And then for a long time, I was +3. And then in 2009, I lost in Nanjing to him. And then I lost in Tal Memorial. The 2 games within 2 months. Especially, I mean, the first one, you remember, this was the Scotch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very painful.
After the Gary session.
Yeah, which we still didn't know about, and then the other one in Tal Memorial that hurted me big time, because I was just having a fantastic position. I mean, clear advantage, everything super under control, and just somehow I started to make some wrong decisions, and all of a sudden I got into trouble. And
Was it this dragon game, or which one?
No, it was this. It was a bishop e3, knight g4.
Ah, yeah.
Knight, but he somehow he fell into some cheap. I mean, not cheap, or some deep. Deep prep. And then he was suffering there. And then he beat me in Reykjavik 2015, so now I think we are 50%.
Fair enough. All right, which game?
Yeah, now we see exactly in Vishy's game with Vincent, it went along the line we discussed.
We're very good at chess.
And we kind of were wondering how to react, yeah? Maybe e4. Maybe I should. Now it's the time to. Since I pushed already f5, I need e4. But
Like
then you go bishop
keep
e2.
my bishop on this side.
Maybe bishop
E2
e2 is
or
double
f1?
attack, no? I mean, because my h4. This is the problem with the h5 h4 move always. That, yeah.
Well,
so
I'm sure Alpha Zero would just give the pawn and then play slowly.
Yeah, but we are not alpha zeros yet, unfortunately.
Vincent, so the chance he's younger.
Yeah, Vincent has the chance.
But seriously, it looks dangerous with black to me.
Looks-
Knight b5 is coming, the bishop has many
Yeah,
comfortable
also-
retreats, you don't
also
have time
the-
to organize anything.
I mean, after knight b5, knight c7 is a threat, and you can't really protect the c8 square. Just rook e8 will be available.
Very passivo.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I have to go bishop f6, yeah?
Yeah, knight b5.
How to do knight
rook-
b5 and
rook
rook
e8.
e8. Ugly as it is, but I have nothing else. But okay, if I manage to keep the structure, then
Yeah.
you also don't have so much.
No, there's no breakthrough yet. Yeah, of course you can
Yeah.
play a3, but I'm not sure how much it gives white.
Yeah, but of course the knight on b5. Yeah, no,
Worst case scenario, you can go knight f4, but looks bad.
perfectly placed. Then it is just perfectly placed. Sure, knight e- Yeah, knight b5 will hurt big time. Yeah? Yeah, how to give the pawn? That's a question, yeah? That's a question. If I go knight c5, can I go knight c5?
When, where, why?
No. Can I go knight? He went knight f4. My question was, can I go knight c5?
Knight f4.
Yeah, he just gives up the f4 pawn.
Takes, he
No,
has
but
some
you-
bishop h6 business. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't take so easily, but I mean, okay, still this feels now.
It could be
Some
positional
knight b5.
repercussions. Oh, that's interesting.
Okay,
Some
f3.
f3, yeah.
Yeah, f3, vamos.
Vamos a la playa.
Let's get some Najdorfish counterplay.
Very sharp all of a sudden.
Yeah, takes. Rook c8, knight e6. Queen f6.
I am a simpleton.
Okay, but now queen c3. Now
c3.
I'm in the game or not?
I did not expect you to exchange queens.
Yeah, not okay. Not. I might have some fortress hopes, no?
Why?
Why?
How?
Okay, bishop f6. Just wanna go king f7, knight c5.
Wait.
Okay, I mean, it's clear that white has a pawn and white has clear advantage, but
Yeah.
okay, dark squares. At least I got rid of this knight on b5, yeah? Rook
Yeah.
e6 played by Vishy at tempo.
Rook e6. Yeah.
So he was,
Interesting.
yeah, no, that
Hitting
feels,
g6.
that feels really strong. Rook e6.
Keeping knight b5 in reserve, yeah, like some queen f7, knight b5 will hit much harder.
And if rook e6, d6, knight c5, then how does it continue? Because the idea is nice, but how does it work exactly?
And so many options.
Yeah, a lot of options.
Jump, bishop.
But yeah, somehow the jump now doesn't really bother me. I get this bishop e5 idea, yeah? I can try to,
You take it and then bishop e5.
yeah, or maybe even immediately.
Walking. Okay. Must think. Bishop e2.
Yeah, bishop e2 came to mind, yeah, because knight
this
e4
feels
would
like
be
a square,
lovely,
yeah.
but you take queen d5,
Yeah.
so I can't play knight. But on the other hand, you don't, so rook e8 maybe? Bishop f3. Ah, by the way, also f4 is not yet hanging. Bishop e5. b6. I mean, very strange. Yeah, but very strange structure. Yeah.
Yeah, but if it holds, it holds.
Yeah, I mean it looks very ugly, and I just don't believe that it holds.
Feels like there has to be some way.
Yeah.
Don't see it either.
And it's too shaky.
No, knight takes e6, maybe it's not so bad.
Yeah, I have to take knight e6, and then hope for some g5, g4 counterplay.
Knight d4, g5, not so clear. What's the clock situation? Vincent has half an hour. Vishy's played fast. Still is in hour 10. And yeah, 14 moves till the time control. Not so much, but now you have to start calculating a lot because the price of a move is very high.
Yeah, of course. However, you can't really tolerate this rook, yeah, on e6.
Yeah, it feels like you gotta take a knight c5, but still you wanna think it through.
Of course. Because this...
Can we get the Vishy Kaymer cam?
You get this d5 square, and also you open up the h1a8 diagonal.
There's Mr. Vishy. There is...
Yeah. No,
he's played knight c5?
Knight e5.
Knight e5.
Knight e5.
Defending g6.
And still keeping an eye on f3, yeah?
Yeah.
He wants to get counterplay.
So what do you do? Bishop e2,
then
f3,
yeah.
bishop h6 business.
Okay, it still doesn't work exactly, but it was gf f4, but okay, it's something to...
Okay, knight b5 is like the most obvious.
Yeah, knight b5, but then this f3 business, can I play f3? Because it's also something typical white doesn't really want to allow this business. Yeah.
Worries start creeping in. Yeah, it's a good point. So let's do this.
Yeah, bishop e2. But okay, then it feels like with knight e5, black achieved something, but what exactly is another...
Still very sharp, no? Knight b5 is looming.
And f3 doesn't really give me anything, because then gf and... Yeah, threatening to kick me with f4. No, I can't. Yeah, bishop e2 played. Yeah, no, I mean after bishop e2 I have to think here.
Start with bishop h6.
Yeah, but then even some
ugly move like bishop f3 maybe.
But bishop f3 then g5.
Oh, and you're coming.
Bishop f3 g5.
g5, bishop h5.
And bishop h5, yeah? Again, like
It's
yesterday, yeah, this bishop
Anytime.
h5. You spot this, yeah? Because now unfortunately with knight on e5 taking on e6, can I take on e6? I don't believe. I mean, at least I should wait for knight b5, yeah?
Yeah, it feels like asking for knight d5 could be asking for even more trouble, but it's very...
I don't want to go g5.
And Vishy already played bishop e2, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
To him these things come very natural.
A tempo.
I'm seeing some speculation in the chat that Vishy and Vincent, no, I think it said the GMs.
No, now Vishy is very happy with his position.
Yeah.
He always likes stability. And he
Five is there, d6 is loose. Okay. Well, we knew it was a tough test, and now he faces. Chat that the stream is lagging, that the audio and video are out of sync. Not much I can do here, except for passing it on. I'm not sure if it's better.
I mean, queen d2, rook d2, a6, knight b4, knight e4.
Now knight e4. So this point takes.
Well, he's giving up the pawn.
No trickery, yeah? Just.
I don't think that you can. It feels like more like, isn't this martialish idea? Ah.
Just play here. But how do we play?
No, I thought if
king b2, you suffer forever.
No, I thought that after bishop e4, d4, rook e4, maybe bishop d5. Keep the tension. No? You know, here, after this, bishop e4, d, rook e4, bishop d5 was when I claimed that this is maybe martialish, no? I mean, takes, knight takes c6, bishop takes c6. And I kind of keep an eye on this knight, and I need f6, and if I get f6 in, I do believe that I should hold this.
If you can't jump knight e5 here, then it feels like after f6 black should be fine, or should survive, let's say.
Yeah. And this means that after takes, rook e4, bishop d5, you should try to use it immediately, but I don't. I mean, takes, knight f5, yeah? Takes, knight f5, but then it feels like some tactical stuff is beginning. But I don't know where it will end. Because rook e1, rook d1.
Yeah, Maxime. It's to fight, because this martial compensation sort of requires that you're stable, yeah? Like,
exactly.
Once you stabilize the position, bishop on c6, pawn on f6, then you're okay. But if it's white can generate activity, then of course,
yeah, and
things could be bad.
I can't really keep the tension, and okay, departing from the bishop is okay. Knight
Well,
g6.
you can play this and
yeah.
6 or g6, but
Yeah.
back the pawn finally.
Yeah.
Knight f6, rook e1. No?
Yeah.
We
No,
survive.
this is just in time. But okay, if this whole position depends on this, so takes g6. Scary now with this jumping knight. This is dangerous.
Knight c5 is coming.
Yeah. In this case, then maybe after all, it was important to. I mean, that was the line that came to my mind, just like that. But this feels also scary. Yeah? Takes knight c5.
It's a race, but we might lose that race, yeah? Knight f3,
Yeah.
knight b7, who knows? Maybe it's still a draw, but it looks a bit scary.
Yeah, looks a bit scary. So Fabi is thinking. Okay, he also can simply hold this and play rook d2. And maybe he's just having things under control. I wanna take on c6 and go knight d4.
Yeah, probably. Have to eat some humble pie, and you can once again decide if you want.
It is martialish, no? Or it's very close to martial. Very close.
Not so far away, no? Like,
Yeah.
Of course, you take white, but it feels like
Yeah.
it should be a draw. We'll see. MVL fighting for equality. Let's have a look at the other games. We have not been here for a while. Even though, as we said, they haven't made a lot of moves, both sides. Taking a lot of time. a5. Rook to e1. Bishop to a6.
Yeah.
Still feels roughly equal. Queen a5, of course. He went back to e4. Sort of admitting that e2 was not the best idea. Knight d7.
And g3 finally.
g3. Back on track.
Yeah. Exactly.
Levon centralizes his king. Now he goes g4. Knight b4 never happens. Why not? Just a4.
Or knight c3 maybe.
Knight c3 just. Probably Levon also not thinking about any move.
d6, bishop d6, ed6. With this lovely blockade with the knight on d7. It's
white is very safe.
Yeah, somewhere this queen h7 one has to watch out, because then already queen h7, knight e4, knight d6. You are enjoying yourself too much and you get crushed.
Happens to me all the time. Having too much fun.
No, white is...
There's some b5 hitting.
Okay, that knight e5 was a critical move. Yeah, I mean, instead of bishop takes f5. That was kind of the move to keep the tension, but it was very computerish. It was...
What else is there? That's all there is.
Yeah, that's
So, what do you predict? Vachier-Lagrave draw?
Well, yeah, draw.
Vishy has to be a favorite at this point.
Yeah, Vishy certainly is a favorite.
MVL. I guess draw is still a favorite.
Rook d2 played. Yeah.
Position?
Oops, where is the... Ah, here.
Is that?
Yeah, rook e6, d6, rook e8.
Okay.
Natural move.
What tricks do we have? Queen d5 comes to mind, knight b5 comes to mind. Anything else? Nah, that's all that comes to mind.
Yeah. Yeah, but knight b5, of course, still very tempting, yeah? I don't know if you can take on e6 because I have queen d5.